There's more to this celebration than meets the eye. Baby Alex did not come easily into this world. Her parents had to wait over 3 years for this happy outcome.
Is it okay for you?
Yes, it's fine. No problem.
As many as 1 in 6 couples experience infertility at some stage in their lives. Among the most common causes is a failure to ovulate, or, once an egg is fertilized, for implantation to occur.
Well, there are some problems after implantation in the sense that sometimes the embryo does not develop well because of intrinsic problems, and on the other hand, we must not forget that the ovary and the production of hormones play a very important role in having a normal developing pregnancy.
Zo, eerst gaan we op de...
A far less common consequence of hormone imbalance is human growth hormone deficiency. This occurs in as many as 1 in every 2,500 children, and is often due to a malfunction of the hypothalamus gland.
Human growth hormone deficiency affects principally the growth of the children, but also other organ systems are affected, for example muscle strength, bone density, and for certain their self-esteem, because they are smaller and also weaker than most of the children of their age.
It's estimated that 40 million people across Europe suffer from urinary incontinence. This woman has a rare condition, which means that her kidneys are unable to concentrate urine. As a result, she produces large quantities of dilute urine. The impact on her life has been profound.
I have diabetes insipidus, and I get this raging thirst that nothing will satisfy. I can drink and drink and drink, and nothing will satisfy. I keep having this thirst, and the side effect of that is I keep having to go to the toilet. As far as my relationship's concerned, I can't sleep in the same bed as my husband. We've only been married 3 years, and he sleeps next door because I get up so often to go to the toilet.
Diabetes insipidus is caused by the underexpression of the pituitary antidiuretic hormone vasopressin, which controls the excretion of water from the kidneys. The reproductive hormones, human growth hormone and vasopressin all have one thing in common. They are proteins or peptides. Peptides consist of short chains of amino acids, the building blocks of proteins. Some of them are very short indeed. Vasopressin consists of only 9 amino acids. A wide range of biologically active peptides are found within the body. Some are involved in reproductive health, growth, and other endocrine functions. Minute variations in the concentration of these peptides can have profound physiological effects. Too much and the hormone receptors are overstimulated. Too little and they are unable to function. Understanding their mode of action provides opportunities to treat imbalances with synthetic peptides. Substances called agonists or antagonists stimulate or block peptide receptors, helping the body's own regulatory mechanisms to work normally. It was not until Ferring pioneered the bulk manufacture of synthetic peptides in the early 1960s that this exciting new branch of medicine could be opened up. An ability to treat diseases by using the body's own regulatory mechanisms is what Ferring refers to as medicine on the body's own terms.
Ferring is unique in that it is a research-driven organization with a specialty in peptide chemistry. Ferring started in the 50s by extracting hormones from animal tissues. Over the last 30 years, Ferring has built the largest portfolio of peptide drugs on the market.
Today, Ferring Pharmaceuticals has become synonymous with peptide therapy and for the creation of novel medicines primarily in the fields of infertility and obstetrics, endocrinology, urology and gastroenterology. With many women postponing childbirth until later in life, age-related infertility has become a growing problem and has increased demand for in vitro fertilization.
The administration of hormones plays a crucial role in performing in vitro fertilization. If we do not have them, we cannot perform IVF.
Ferring, we have designed products that help to regulate key stages of fertilization and even to prevent one of the final hazards of pregnancy, premature labor. Hormones like Menopur are used during in vitro fertilization, of which baby Alex and her parents were beneficiaries.
Ferring's Menopur product is a very important one because it stimulates properly the ovaries, which makes that egg quality is optimal, embryonic quality is of good quality, which means that implantation potential is excellent.
While other pharmaceutical companies working in the endocrinology field focus on adults, Ferring has invested heavily in the treatment of childhood conditions. For example, we market a synthetic human growth hormone called Zomactin.
Children like Jens will be diagnosed of having growth hormone deficiency between the age of 3 to 6 years. Under growth hormone treatment, they will reach normal growth after 2 years. Zomactin is a growth hormone substitute for these children, and it normalizes their growth, their muscle strength, and in time also their bone density.
Not only can thousands of children like Jens expect to achieve near normal stature, their treatment will prevent other complications, such as dental problems and muscle wasting. While patients with diabetes insipidus still need to take reasonable precautions, their quality of life is now greatly improved, thanks to Ferring's vasopressin analogue desmopressin, better known as Minorin, or DDAVP in the United States.
I take desmopressin in the morning and at night, and it's made a huge difference to my life because it helps relieve the symptoms. And, you know, when you take it, it feels fantastic because it works almost instantly. So no more needing to go to the toilet, no more desperate thirst.
One of the scientists who worked on the initial studies into Ferring's desmopressin is Professor Jens Peter Norgard.
Desmopressin is a very good example of how a close collaboration between scientists and pharmaceutical industry can bring a molecule from early development into indications with broad implications for patients, and this is a major part of the success of Ferring.
It was Ferring's work on diabetes insipidus that provided another scientific breakthrough. In 1984, scientists working closely with Ferring realized that nocturnal enuresis or bedwetting is an entirely treatable medical condition.
This link between desmopressin and these conditions has had a tremendous impact for Ferring because it turned out that these patients could be efficiently treated by replacing the lack of antidiuretic hormone with desmopressin, leading to dry nights and longer sleep at night for nocturia patients.
When we are asleep, the body normally regulates urine production by the kidneys by releasing the antidiuretic hormone vasopressin from the pituitary gland in the brain. But in some children, this hormone is deficient and urine production continues through the night, with distressing consequences. By giving the child a dose of this antidiuretic drug Minorin before bedtime, the sheets remain dry and the child's life is transformed. And so a mainstream medicine was born out of research into a very rare disease, and in the process created a significant commercial success for Ferring. Some may regard this as lucky. We attribute it to our focus on science, constantly building on our expertise, always endeavouring to meet unmet medical needs. Ferring was founded in 1950 in 2 rented rooms in Malmö in Sweden. Today, it employs more than 2,500 people and is represented in over 40 countries around the world. In 2006, a new production facility and headquarters was opened at Saint-Pré in Switzerland, 40 kilometers east of Geneva. Drug development is coordinated from our International Pharma Science Center in Copenhagen, and there are research facilities in San Diego in the United States and in Chilworth in the United Kingdom. In spite of its international reputation, Ferring remains a privately owned family firm, guided by the ethos of its founder, the late Dr. Fredrik Poulsen.
Jag har alltid tagit sådana områden som andra inte bryr sig om. Hormoner var den gången, och hormonindustri var uteslutande steroidhormoner, sexualhormoner. Det var alltså östrogen för kvinnor, och det var egentligen en underavdelning av gynekologin, hela endokrinologin. Andra hormoner var det ingen som brydde sig om.
Varför tyckte du att de andra...
De valde jag, så att jag var övertygad om att där låg en mycket stor framtid.
Today, while the basis of the research is still natural hormones, our scientists are developing modified structure to increase the potency and the safety of these molecules. The production within Ferring has also evolved, and now recombinant technologies and large-scale synthetic peptide chemistry are replacing the method pioneered by Dr. Frederick Paulsen 50 years ago.
Ferring has broadened the availability of peptide therapies by developing novel ways to deliver them. Jens avoids the need to inject human growth hormone with a needle thanks to our no-needle delivery system Zomajet, which uses high pressure to inject the drug subcutaneously. One of the most recent innovations is the fast melt tablet. The drug is released into the mouth as the tablet rapidly dissolves without water and is absorbed directly into the bloodstream. Another technique is the creation of subcutaneous depots, where a bolus of the drug is injected under the skin, from where it is gradually released into the bloodstream, sometimes over a period of months. In spite of these considerable innovations in the delivery of peptide drugs, the search continues for non-peptide alternatives.
Here at Ferring's Research Centre at Chilworth in the United Kingdom, we are very much at the forefront of non-peptide research. That is, we have pioneered the use of peptidomimetics to mimic the action of the body's hormones and peptides. One example would be FE106483, which is a mimic of the naturally occurring hormone vasopressin, and by using this small molecule 483, patients are able to take this as a tablet and have exactly the same action that vasopressin would have in the body. And this is great for the patients because, as we know, traditionally peptides have to be taken either by an injection or by nasal spray, but by using these non-peptide molecules, they can be taken as a tablet, and patient compliance is much better.
Ferring's research into the management of prostate cancer has focused on the GnRH receptor in the pituitary gland, which has a key role in the control of the production of testosterone. As a result, Ferring is developing a new molecule for prostate cancer, Degarelix, the first GnRH blocker, which promises a fast, profound and sustained effect without a surge of testosterone.
Degarelix is a highly potent and selective GnRH antagonist, and GnRH blockers, like Ferring's Degarelix, are not associated with the problems of a surge of testosterone and initial flare of the disease. For the patient, this means that Degarelix's qualities of fast onset of action and long duration means that testosterone surge is often in patients associated with hot flushes, a feeling of uncomfortableness, and a very poor quality of life. This is obviated by the use of Degarelix's fast onset. In terms of its duration of action, the patients have the assurance that the disease is under control right from the start.
Gastroenterology is another key treatment area for Ferring. Patients with inflammatory bowel diseases such as Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis often experience abdominal pain and cramping with distressing symptoms such as diarrhea. Ferring scientists develop Pentasa, which acts to control the inflammation. Its unique formulation enables the slow release of the active ingredient throughout the gastrointestinal tract. Unlike other anti-inflammatory drugs such as steroids, Pentasa is minimally absorbed into the bloodstream. Not only does it have fewer side effects, it also avoids some of the long-term problems associated with steroid treatment. Through acquisitions and strategic alliances with like-minded partners, Ferring continues to broaden its expertise. Most recently, the company strengthened its commitment to biotechnology research with the acquisition of BTG, the recombinant manufacturing business of Savient Pharmaceuticals.
The acquisition of BTG gives Ferring a number of important opportunities. First, hyaluronic acid, which is a differentiated biotechnology product which we're able to sell worldwide for the treatment of the pain associated with osteoarthritis. It's a terrific product for us. Secondly, it gives Ferring the opportunity to be a worldwide supplier of growth hormone, which is entirely consistent with our heritage as an endocrinology company.
And BTG certainly gives us world-class development and production capabilities in biotechnologies. And if you add that to the peptide chemistry in San Diego and the small molecule in the UK, then Ferring has now access to the full range of the Discovery platform.
Ferring Pharmaceuticals is not like other pharmaceutical companies. Driven by our commitment to the value of research and a desire to find treatments for unmet medical needs, Ferring has demonstrated that commercial success and high standards are wholly compatible, and that medicine can be delivered on the body's own terms.
What makes Ferring different is that it has the ability to take what made it great, which is a highly entrepreneurial culture, and blend it with a professional management team and structure. And the results are, I think, unique in our industry.
One of their strengths is to adapt their philosophies to that of the countries they establish themselves in.
In the treatment of infertility, Ferring played a very important role by designing very large prospective randomized trials. These trials has given us a lot of information about the hormonal contents, about egg quality and embryo quality.
At Ferring we are still allowed, despite that it's a growing company, we are still allowed to think out of the box, come with entrepreneurial ideas and bring them into effect. That is what makes it nice working at Ferring.
There's a sensation and an atmosphere in the company of working very, very closely with specialists on unmet medical needs in disease areas, and we have such clever chemistry that we really want to apply to those areas of unmet medical needs in specialist areas directed to patients who really feel the sensation that this drug is making a difference.
Ferring Pharmaceuticals. Medicine on the body's own terms.